Здравствуйте, товарищи, and welcome back to Stalin's Starcraft 2 Battle Report. And we got a 4 vs 4 match for you guys, and I believe this map is called Lava Flow, but sometimes I get them wrong, so I'll have to double check. Anyway, I will be commanding the Red Zerg. On the other side of me, Katie Craft will be commanding the Blue Terran, and as far as I know, she is the only girl that actually watches my YouTube channel. Technically, YouTube says that I've got an 8% girl ratio that watches my channel, so technically, 8% of 10,000 is obviously 800, so there should be 800 girls that watch this channel, but as far as I know, Katie Craft is the only one that actually does. Anyway, Wild Geese will be commanding the Teal Terran, and once again, Burr is returning as the Purple Zerg. And moving out across the map to our enemies, Elite will be commanding the Pink Terran, and the Blade will be commanding the Yellow Protoss. And seriously, is that like the nerdiest name you'd ever heard in your life? I don't know. I like the names of guys who call themselves like stuff like Shadow Knight or White Wolf and stuff like that. It always makes me giggle a little bit. And Protoss will be commanding the Orange Protoss. Go figure, eh? And Terran will be commanding the Green Protoss. Ugh, that's not fun to say. Anyway, we can see that I'm just scouting out. I've decided that I'm getting into a habit of scouting now. Something I try and do as often as possible. I just kind of set my dude on automate, so I just kind of like press shift and click all over the enemy's bases to see what's going on. And then because I was micromanaging my scout, I didn't notice and Blade's scout in my base. And usually when I see a scout enter my mineral field, I just surround him with all my harvesters and kill him, but I missed it that time. That is, of course, providing that I can actually see them. Anyway, Elite has already gotten a Reaper out on the field, and he is going to attack Poke, unfortunately. And Poke is going to take some damage. One probe goes down, 2 probes goes down, and then he's going to take the probes and try and ward him off. He's building a Queen right now, and the Queen will be able to deal with that Reaper fairly effectively once she gets finished. But for now, he's just trying to dodge this Reaper's attacks. Anyway, the Queen is done, and she's going to go out, and she's going to start hammering on this Reaper, and he's going to fly off. But another one is coming in. And this harass continues. Poor Poke is slowly losing drones. Anyway, at this point, I decided I was going to fast expand, and I was going to rush to Mutalisks, because I felt that at least one of these Protoss guys was going to be building Void Rays, and it turns out one of them was, so I wanted to get Mutalisks out as fast as I possibly could. So of course I expanded, early. Not as early as, maybe I should have, but I expanded right off the bat. Tried to get as much gas as I possibly could, because the only way you're going to build an effective Mutalisk force is if you've got 4 gas ports all being harvested at the same time. Anyway, I couldn't believe that Elite had not noticed my drone, who had been watching over his mineral field the whole game, because I had just simply forgotten about him. I was just kind of like, whatever. But he's just, sitting there. He's just chilling. No one seems to care about him. And for the most part, besides that Reaper rush, most of us seem to be kind of taking up. Poke is going to go roaches, because he really likes roaches. I like them too, on occasion. Makes them sound like there's some kind of meal or something. Katie Katie Craft is rushing to, sort of a 1-1-1 build. And for those of you guys who don't know what that means, that's one barracks, you know, one factory, one starport. And then from there, you can transition based on what you see your enemies doing. So, you know, if you see your enemy has a weakness in air, you can continue to, you know, pump out Vikings and Banshees or whatever. Or what most Terran players will do is just, you know, mass Marines and siege tanks and try and take control of the battle that way. Anyway, I was in full gas swing rate at this point. Spire is going down. Gonna wait for that thing to finish. Fortunately, these guys didn't rush me. I felt like they weren't gonna rush me because, well, they were taking to like Void Rays and other stuff. We can see that Protoss is just massing Zealots. It's like, you know, Zealots and nothing but. And from our friend Terran, we're massing Stalkers. You know, who would have thought? Protoss massing Stalkers? Unheard of. Anyway, Katecraft is going to drop a Thor and some Marines and an SCV down on Yellow's base. This is pretty awesome. He just moves all his units away. No one is doing anything. Orange is trying to bring those Zealots in, but it's going to be too late. That Nexus is going to go down. And unfortunately, that Thor is not going to be able to make the escape, and she's going to lose one dropship. But at the same time, you know, he lost a Nexus, which is, you know, pretty substantial. But he's got another one, so, you know, maybe it was kind of an equal loss on both sides. Anyway, at this point, I had spawned an Ice Mutilus Cord. Now I was going to send them straight to Elite's base. They're going to come in and they're going to tear some SCVs up because that's what they do best. And he's not going to do a single thing about this. He's just going to let pretty much all of his SCVs be destroyed. He's going to bring in a couple Marines to try and kill me. Not going to do anything. There's a couple more Marines waiting in the background. Not going to do anything either. And now what's left of his force is, you know, at the mercy of my guys. But I see these Void Rays coming in. I thought I could take them, but after a brief skirmish, I decided that that wasn't a fight I wanted to fight. And for now, after, you know, I thought that I was satisfied that I had did a lot of damage here. Destroyed his entire SCV line. I was gonna retreat back to base and, you know, lick my wounds and mass more units. But Terran is harassing poor Wild Geese with his Stalkers. He countered and took out a bunch of his SCVs. And for now these guys are backing off. But they're gonna move out their force in a counter-offensive to try and, you know, bounce the damage that we had done, you know, destroying that one guy's Nexus and that other guy's SCV line. They're going to try and bounce that out and bring troops to fight this battle. Wild Geese just has mass Marines at this point, and the Zealots are going to try and bust their way in. I'm going to bring in Mutilus because they only have one anti-air unit. Battle ensues. These Stalkers are not these Stalkers. These Zealots are trying to close the gap on these Marines. I'm helping them out with air support, and those Marines go down. And what's left of this Marauder force is at the mercy of our units. And down they go. Well, these Stalkers are back again, and unfortunately, Wild Geese is going to lose his command center. But not before I chase down and kill all these Stalkers. And, of course, he had an observer there. That's why he was able to warp in units, or I mean, blink units up this field. Poke was just having fun, or Burr was having fun building roaches. Oh, so yeah, he is prepared for my Mutilus Assault. So I decide I'm just gonna fly right on by. Katecraft is gonna notice this expansion, take that out. and I'm gonna fly Ametus right into Protoss's base. He's got a couple of stalkers, and I decide that I have enough Mutalisks and I can overwhelm these stalkers. And it turns out I was right, as long as I focused fire. Those stalkers go down, and the rest of his probes are now at my mercy. But, you know, Void Ray reinforcements ensured that I was not able to finish the job. So, oh my god, more mass stalkers. Here they come. And Wild Geese is going on a counteroffensive after taking so much damage at the hands of his enemies. He's taken his Marines and he's going to try and destroy what's left of Elite's base. Elite had already at this point flown off and started harvesting minerals at a different location. And Anne's blade is trying to expand while Katie Craft's dropship force is just kind of waiting for him to, you know, notice her, but he doesn't, and this expansion goes down. Well, these Marines are gonna fight and die like heroes and do as much damage as they possibly can. But there's just too little of them, and they get wiped out. And Poke's roach reinforcements do arrive, but they arrive a little bit late. And he's micromanaging his burrows with his roaches, trying to pop up and kill one or two of them and then pop back down. And Terran decides he doesn't want to play that game, so he's going to take his ball and he's going to go home. But at the same time, me and Katie Craft are counterattacking Ans the Blade. And we've destroyed, taken out what's left of his base. Taken out what was left of his Void Rays too. But she's just dropping Thors all over the place. Dropping Thors on everyone. And I'm just destroying his pylons to ensure that he's not going to be able to build any more Void Rays to harass us. These Thors are about to be overwhelmed by these Marines, so I send in the Mutalisks to help them out. And at this point, things are looking pretty grim for the enemies. Terran is counterattacking Poke at this point, and he's destroying parts of his base. You know, there's not a lot he can do. I'm trying to mass, I think I had a bunch of Zerglings that I was trying to mass to help him out. I know I do that at some point. But anyway, my forces got split up because I was busy trying to manage my base, and I lose a lot of Mutalisks in a counterattack. But, I mean, at this point we had done a whole ton of damage to our enemies. And there's my Zergling horde. Here they are. And they were able to help out Poke. And he's gonna get his revenge, and he's gonna take his his roaches, and burrow them into the enemy's base, and start taking out his key structures. Elite is desperately trying to fly off his command center that is burning in mid-flight. Then Protoss leaves the game, and the Blade leaves the game. And now his stalkers are going to try and fight Poke's roaches, but, you know, he decides he doesn't want to do that, so he leaves the game. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. This has been JosefVStalin signing off, and I hope you join me next time where some other crazy replay will happen. Also, if you've got any replays, love to see them, and you guys take care.